Hey fellow monks, this is my first YouTube video. I wanted to share some of the books I read last year. I picked 4 of them, 2 fiction books and 2 personal development books. So to begin with, I would like to recommend I Am Legend, written by Richard Matheson. I think it's one of the origins of most of these like post-apocalyptic works you see these days, you know, like all these vampire films, these zombie films, these like plague films, all of them can be traced to often to this one. It's like extremely well written. It's kind of what I think Stephen King wished he could write like. It's very creative for its time, and yeah, even though I had kind of seen the Will Smith film and like read a lot of Stephen King, this still felt it was so well made that it's well worth a read if you're at all interested in fiction. So yeah, that's the first book. The second one is Narcissus and Goldmund by Hermann Hesse. I've read like 4 or 5 of his books. He's a very interesting author. Easiest way I would describe him is kind of like he takes these like huge ideas like theological, like Jungian, psychology, Nietzsche, and all these big ideas, and like boils them down to these very like thought-provoking but very, how do you say, digestible stories. So this Narcissus and Goldmund is kind of a coming-of-age story. And these 2 characters, Narcissus, who is this monk guy. He's like very intellectual, and he's like dedicated his life to like these high intellectual, spiritual pursuits. And you have Goldmund on the other hand, who represents kind of the more carnal, down-to-earth, grounded side of the author, I guess. So he kind of goes in this adventure while this intellectual monk stays in the monk, but they keep this relationship throughout their lives, and you get to follow it. It's very, very unique, but well worth reading. And that brings us to the non-fiction, the personal development books. I read a lot of them last year, I think like 20 or something. But the ones that I would recommend the most are Breaking Out of Homeostatis by Ludvig Sunstrom, a fellow Swede. I don't think he's much older than me, like I think he's 27 or something, but he's really done his homework and, how do you say, distilled all of his wisdom so far into this very concise, well-written and practical book. I think you can only get it on Amazon, but yeah, I'll read some of the chapters so you get the idea of his style. It's like metacognition, the key for unlocking the gap between stimulus and response. The prefrontal cortex, how to increase concentration, willpower, and decisiveness. Like, yeah, very scientific, but also very, very practical. It's not just theory. It's like, these are the steps I take in my life to achieve these specific goals. So yeah, like I said, I read a lot of personal development, and this one sticks out. And then lastly, a more popular one, I guess, Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. Like, he has some actionable advice, but that's not the how do you say, the pull on that book. It's more so his personal life story and the mindsets he imbues you with that kind of inspire you to step up my game. Like, I started running in the mornings and taking cold showers, not because I'm practicing for anything, just because I understand that it will have an effect on my performance in the rest of my life. So yeah, he helped me like realize the physical is very connected to the psychological, and that I have only been giving like 50% of my effort so far, and I have like a lot more that I can give every single day. And yeah, that's what the book gave me. So it's well worth a read. So yeah, I hope you at least check out 1 or 2 of those books. They are all have the potential to change your life, or at least expand your horizon. Thank you for listening.